Live.
Our team will work hard to tell stories of all of the amazing things that are going on in our backyard, and we are committed to delivering it in a way that few others can. We strive to keep a platform that will educate our students and create the next generation of leaders in media. Sit back, be prepared to smile, and relate. Thank you for tuning in. We are the Varsity Sports Show.
Coming right on. The Varsity Sports Show.
Hey, this is Sophie. You're listening to my dad, Vince. Dad, you owe me $20 now.
Hi, kids. This is DJ Soulman from the Funk Junkies, and you're listening to the Varsity Sports Show with my man Vince Alicio.
What's your show's name?
Okay, that's right. That's right.
Now remember,
am1060 KDUS
we're live on the live stream.
Okay. Scottsdale, Phoenix.
This program is paid for by the Varsity Media Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit educational organization, and its partners.
You're listening to the Varsity Sports Show, home of Arizona's youth, high school, college sports, and you, empowering education and enabling dreams, right here on KDUS AM 1060 in Arizona. And now, welcome to the Varsity Sports Show.
Good morning.
And you're live.
good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS and on the live stream link, KDUS1060.com. My name is Vince Delicio. We are in studio once again on a Saturday morning. What a day. Gosh, what a night. A couple things. Last night was Halloween. We had Thursday night football as well. Today is selection show for Arizona high school football, which is kind of weird because we got other divisions that are going into the postseason, and then we've got one division that is still playing, namely 6A. So it's an interesting weekend. Anyway, that being said, we're going to be joined by a lot of great people today, as per the norm. This is just kind of like the place to be. People like coming here. It's almost like grandma's house on Thanksgiving. So it's that kind of vibe. It's a lot of fun. It's warm. It's friendly. We just wrap your arms around you and just seize the day. But joined in studio by a couple of talented young journalists here. Left to right, we have with us making his debut on the Varsity Sports Radio Show, Greg Graves, and to his left, a returning wily veteran in Keithan Thomas. Greg, Keithan, how are you guys?
Doing good this morning, Vince. How are you?
I'm wonderful. It is Saturday morning, beautiful. And Keithan, yourself?
Well, I'm allegedly a wily veteran.
Yes,
so
you are.
I'll take that title, but I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good, man. So let's start with you, Keithan. Being a wily veteran here, the last time to this time in hosting the show, how does it feel?
Way more comfortable. I remember being so scared last time, but now it's just like I'm ready to go. I got all my topics ready to talk about some high school football, ready for a fun time.
Yeah, good stuff. And Greg, first time in the studio. What do you think?
Yes, sir. I like it here. I got the pregame jitters a little bit, but regardless, I'm excited.
It's kind of an interesting place. Those of you that have never known this, back in the day, meaning back when I was a kid, each of these radio stations here in Phoenix and a lot of them around the country were locally owned, locally run. And now with a lot of the consolidation of different media entities and online presence and satellite radio and all this stuff. There's these corporations now that own a lot of these stations, and am1060, the Deuce, is no different in that we are owned by Hubbard Radio. Hubbard Radio is a big national conglomerate of media entities and all over the country. And 1060 is one of 5 that occupies this building, this station that is owned by Hubbard. There is, who do we have here? We have 98 KUPD, which is interesting. They're down the hall, and that's a station that was a staple in my house as a kid before school. Every morning I listened to 98 KUPD and legendary Dave Pratt. And then down the hall, you got 100.7 KSLX, which we'll pop in and visit those guys. Great people over there when we're done with the show. But I listened to them when I was in college, classic rock. And then around the corner, you got 93.3, what they call the alt rock station, alternative music. That was big toward the end of my college years in the 90s and has made a resurgence, and a lot of great music there. And then you come around the corner here and walking down the hall, and next to us, you got 92.7, the oldie station. And then you got us. And KDUS is one of the few sports radio stations that is owned by Hubbard across the country. So it is definitely a badge of courage. And I'll go one more. For the longest time, we, meaning the Varsity Sports Show, and we had another name prior to that, JV, we were like the new kids here for the longest time. We were on Saturday mornings from 7 to 8. They gave us the best time slot. I think they just wanted to see if we would make it. And we did, and we made it in a big way, particularly when we switched up a little bit and got some other folks involved. We became bigger, better, stronger, kind of like the $6 Million Man, faster. And we ended up getting 2 hours and then more of a prime slot here, the premier time slot on weekend sports radio, 9 to 11. It is the top time slot out there to compete with the big boys. And we're still out there kind of clawing and scratching. And now we are the oldest show in this entire building, the oldest, hands down, of all the radio stations, the oldest show. We're 6 years strong. We are the only show that is a member in this building that is a member of the Arizona Media Association. That's a big deal. They've been a great supportive organization for us, and some good people over there. And here we are, and we've got all of you guys involved. So it's been great. Greg, goals. Talk about your goals. How'd you end up here, and what do you want to do? Greg Graves.
Yeah. For me personally, my whole story of getting to Varsity Sports Show is pretty simple. I had buddies who did it last semester, and I'm pretty sure the semester before that, and they were like, "Hey man, Vince does a great thing over here at the Varsity Sports Show." And so when internship day came around, it was kind of a no-brainer for me after sitting down and talking with you one-on-one. And I talked to other companies, but there was just something about Vince and the Varsity Sports Show that was just like, okay, this is where I want to be. And in terms of goals, though, I mean, I'm looking to just tell stories and bring the stories to people and people who aren't always heard. And you see that a lot at this level. So it's just been a special thing to do so far.
Fun. Awesome. And how about you, Keithan?
Well, for me, I remember looking for an internship last semester. I was kind of panicking, like, oh, we're running out of time. And I shot an email to Vince, and he responded, I think, within like 15 minutes.
Wow.
Chronically online, I guess you could call it. But that's a good thing, because responded right away. We got on a Zoom, talked about the Varsity Sports Show, and I was like instantly intrigued, and I was hooked. And, for me, very similar to you, I like telling stories. I think on every single team, let's say there's a 53-man roster, there's 53 unique stories for every single player. And I think they're all worth telling in each of their own ways. And, that's just one team, so there's hundreds of teams out here in Arizona, thousands of teams across the country. The goal is to try to tell every single story.
Absolutely. And that's what we are. We're storytellers. It doesn't matter. The medium just happens to be sports, and sport brings people together. But we've done other things. We've stretched a bit. We've covered nonprofits. We've covered feel-good stories of things happening in the community. We tend to shy away, as you guys, as I've said this countless times, of negative stuff. There's people that get paid a lot of money. My colleagues down the dial, I'm not going to name names and throw salt at anybody, but other stations, other shows, they get paid very well to report, uncover bad news. And we're not about that. Now, we're not going to turn a blind eye to stuff, but at the same time, there are so many good stories out there to tell that people, I've found that our audience is very fickle, and they want to wake up on Saturday morning to good stuff happening. And that's what we're about. We report good news, and you could still be a solid journalist, a great, outstanding, exceptional reporter by digging a little deeper, working a little harder, and finding good stories to tell. And that's what we're about. So we're going to do that today. We're going to tell a lot of good stories today. We're going to be joined by a lot of great people today. Our who's who list of guests today, as you can see at 9:15, we're going to be joined by Desert Mountain football coach Conrad Hamilton. He'll talk break down last night's game, a heartbreaker for him and his team, but I sense that they'll bounce back. They always do. Then we will have Saguaro Sabercats head football coach Darius Kelly. We will be joined by Grand Canyon University. Oh, here's something interesting going on. We got a big hockey match tonight. Hockey game out in Prescott Valley. I'll be out there later this afternoon, visiting with folks, doing some interviews, things like that. It's going to be a lot of fun, but we are broadcasting the game. Our team is heading up there, and we are covering some GCU men's club hockey. Sold out, 4,000 people in the Findlay Toyota Center in Prescott Valley tonight, 7:35 puck drop. We'll be out there covering. We'll put some pre-game stuff on social media that you can follow, but that's exciting. And we are going to hear from GCU head coach Danny Roy at 9:30, and 9:45, Coach Kelly out at Saguaro. 10 o'clock, Brophy coach Jason Jewell. He's an old friend of our program. We love the Brophy community and families out there. Have been great and very supportive of our efforts. And Assistant Athletic Director, Sports Information Director Steve Schaff. 10:15, we are going to hear from one of the members of the GCU men's club hockey team, Braden Husby. He's a senior, fifth year out of South Dakota. He's been here at Grand Canyon, bleeds purple, loves it there. And then at 10:30, we should have Horizon football coach Tyson Ditmore. Big win last night over Chaparral. And with that, gentlemen, we're going to go to a post-game interview that our very own Abigail, who had the post-game interview last night? It was, where's it? Ava Limbatis with Mountain View head football coach Andy Litton from Thursday night. Take it away, Corey.
I'm Ava Limbatis.
We'll come back before you guys with 1 minute.
ASU.
Okay, so we'll have a minute. I'll transition us to the break, and then we'll come back with Coach Hamilton after the break.
You needed to get out there early, strike while the iron's hot. You did that and then some. How did you keep that motivation going through the game?
You know, we told our guys it doesn't matter who's in, we're going to play hard. The expectation is you go out and compete. I thought our kids did a really great job right from the opening kickoff. You know, 10 weeks, our sophomore going in and causing a fumble. I thought we were really well oiled, no penalties. We play clean. When we do that, we can put a lot of points up on board.
And what about Desert Ridge made it easy for you to execute this blowout win?
You know, those guys played their tail off, and then credit to them and their coach. You know, those kids stuck it out. They had a tough season, and they never stopped battling. So, you know, I just thought that our kids had a really great week of practice, that we came in and we had the right mindset to win this game.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And you guys are live.
All right, you guys, welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona. Coming up after the break, we are going to be joined by the man, the legend, the myth, his old friends. We have a lot of fun with Coach Hamilton, Coach Conrad Hamilton out at Desert Mountain, the head football coach, riding a wave of success this season as they do every year. And he will break down last night's big game against Notre Dame Prep. Can't wait to talk to Coach Hamilton. Don't go anywhere, folks, here on the Varsity Sports Show, AM 1060, KDUS, Arizona. Vince, Keithan, and Greg in studio. We'll be right back. Go Varsity. Hey guys, Vince here to talk about Angel Dentistry. It's where my wife and I have gone for over 10 years, and we trust them with our routine and extensive dental care because they care. Dr. Amber Angel is an Arizona native, born in the town of Miami, and has been practicing in the Valley over 20 years. For general to comprehensive dental services, call 602-788-2008. Located off of Cave Creek Road just north of the 101 in North Phoenix. Angel Dentistry, proud supporters of our young people and proud partners of the Varsity Sports Show.
Hello, Varsity Sports Show family. I'm Tommaso Perez from ASU. Join me as I bring you inspiring sports stories and updates from our Catholic schools, where faith, tradition, and athletics come together. Catch me live on KDUS 1060 AM Saturdays from 9 to 11 and during Varsity Sports Show game broadcast.
Your play-by-play broadcaster for Viva Varsity, the brand new Spanish broadcast of the Varsity Sports Show. We're here to fuel your love for the game, bring you exclusive interviews, and celebrate every play right alongside.
You guys know here, I do not have Hamilton quite yet, but when I do, I'll let you know.
For highlights, behind-the-scenes moments, and everything happening on and off the field. This is Viva Varsity, where the game comes alive in your language.
Vince and friends cover all of your varsity and college sports needs on the Varsity Sports Show, live Saturday mornings from 9 to 11 a.m. right here on KDUS am 1060.
And you are live.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona. Vince Delisio, Keith and Thomas, and Greg Graves in studio today. And while we await Coach Hamilton, it's an exciting day in Arizona high school football, particularly 5A to 3A divisions as playoff seedings are being announced as we speak. But let's talk a little bit about the last couple of days. So, Keithan, you were out at our Thursday night game. We went out to Northwest Christian. Coach Dave Innes out there. They played Paradise Honors. Give us a little breakdown. How'd that go?
It was all Northwest Christian. Landon Beckman was incredibly dynamic. He was our player of the game. I swear, every catch he was making, he was going up like 7 feet in the air and snagging out of the air. He was incredible. One of the Paradise Honors best players, Chuck Van Dyke, was limited the entire game. It was basically 11 guys straight to the run, not letting him beat them. And it was pretty good. They had their senior walk at the end of the game. It was pretty cool to see. Very tight-knit community. Their field is like a backyard, it feels like. It is very cozy.
Yeah,
so
that was tight in the neighborhood. Yeah, It's kind of fun. I like Coach Innes, if you're listening, you're great. Thanks so much for accommodating us. And I know we talk in the summer and we plan this out months in advance. Anyway, so thank you. Thanks for always being responsive. Greg, where were you last night?
I was working the same game with Keith.
On Thursday.
I was calling the game.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. Difference 3A, 4A, 5A. I mean, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I definitely did feel the difference in terms of the crowd and, like you said, the stadium. But in terms of, football on the field, it was no different than what you see any other week. Obviously, there were standout players on certain teams, and you knew the guys going in. But in terms of just 3A to 5A, right? I guess the biggest difference in my personal takeaway was just crowd size.
Yeah, nice. And obviously Northwest Christian, big win over Paradise Honors. Young team overall, a lot of veterans. What did you find?
Yeah, I think they had a lot of seniors. It was their senior night, and they had a lot of guys leaving. So I know it was an important game for them. But the star player of the night, I mean, he's a junior, so he still has a year left.
Yeah.
And I know how important that win though was for all the seniors. Could be their last game at that stadium.
Yeah. In terms of other games that you guys have been tracking this season, other teams, anybody kind of stand out to you? Because you guys have seen a lot of football this season. You had a chance to go to a lot of different schools and programs and meet coaches. Anybody, if you were to put together like a top three, Keithan, or top couple coaches and teams that you were really intrigued by?
So to start the season, we had Verado at it was Horizon at Verado. When we went to Verado, that was pretty cool to see. A lot of really fun players. The Bliss brothers were cool to see in action. I'm sure they've had an excellent season. Of course, Bodie, Zamorano, and all those incredible players on the Horizon, those stick out to me. I had a game. It was Paradise Valley and Flagstaff.
I remember it, yeah.
Very, very small roster for Paradise Valley, but their top players were incredible. Their running back, he's like 5'5", but incredibly dynamic. He is, once he gets going, it's like watching Kyler Murray run the ball.
No kidding.
Speedy. He's got wheels. So that's another one I would say. And then returning to Mountain View, that was pretty cool. I went there, graduated 2020, and to see how much that school has changed in just 5 years is incredible. So that's probably my top three.
Coaches,
Litton was pretty cool to talk to. I like talking to him. Ennis, we talked to him. We went a couple of days ago. He was awesome. A great interview. And then Darius Kelly's always been very nice, been very cool to talk to when we worked with him. Very respectful to us. So that's probably my top three in that regard.
Awesome. All right. How about you, Greg?
Yeah, I remember the first practice thing we sort of did, I was with you on that Wednesday. We checked out Horizon. And I remember I enjoyed the game.
It was a scrimmage, I think, right?
It was a scrimmage.
With Marana.
Right.
Okay,
And I looked at the roster and I saw a few of the names and I'm like, okay. And over the next few weeks, like covering their specific games, I mean, to put it shortly, I fell in love with that offense. They have plenty of stellar players, but three in particular that were just outstanding every night I've seen them. And outside of Horizon, though, big shout out to Mountain View. I mean, I saw them week 1 against Liberty, and that was a very tough game for them, but they have just completely bounced back ever since.
2 minutes for recording.
Nice. And in terms of coaches that you've spoken to.
Yeah, I remember back to Horizon, Coach Ditmore has always been a pleasure. I remember I got to interview him, and it didn't even feel like an interview. It just felt like you were having a conversation with a bro. But he was a great time. Coach Monrad Hamilton was a great time. Plenty to let us in on. And I remember I had a good interaction with the Liberty head coach my first week when I went down on the field. So shout out to those guys.
Nice. Okay. So good. I mean, great guys. And a lot of these coaches, you could still be a nice guy and win a lot of games. You don't have to be a tool, guys. You can get along with people and still win. And that's guys are finding out, coaches, schools are finding out. But anyway, so good stuff. All right. With that being said, I think what we're going to do is we are going to transition. Greg, you actually had a chance to kind of give a little 3A, 4A recap over the course of the season for this week. And I think we're going to run that. Corey, take it away.
The Varsity Sports Show.
All fair guys, we'll have 1 minute when we're done.
Here's a look at your Arizona high school football in classes 3A and 4A as the regular season wrap up and the playoffs slowly approach. In Class 3A, it's been a year of tight races and powerhouse programs. Benjamin Franklin sits atop of the Metro Division, right behind them on record, but in the East Division, Thatcher and Pushridge have proven they can win big moments. Thatcher's toughness in the trenches and Pushridge's passing attack made them dangerous heading into November. And don't forget Sholo, a team that's quietly gaining momentum at just the right time, as well as a very well-rounded Mountain Valley and Pacers in the top of the 3A Mountain Division. And 3A is anyone's game. If you can stay healthy and disciplined down the stretch, anything can happen. Over in 4A, Snowflake and Arcadia have led the way, both unbeaten through the Desert Sky Division. But there's a real chase behind. Gila Ridge, Marcos de Mesa, and Mountain are right there. Teams that can light up the scoreboard and pull for the upset on any given Friday night. With so many teams atop the 4A ranks, it can be any watch a game, and across both classes, playoff positioning is on the line. With every drive, every game shaping the varsity is a picture. Coaches are emphasizing fundamentals, and players are chasing their final statement. We have to hard game their seed for this playoffs. So as the postseason approaches, every snap matters. The margins are razor thin, and one big play can shift the whole landscape. In just a few weeks, it'll all be set. For Varsity Sports, I'm Greg Graves reporting.
This is Monica Gupta from Houston with the Varsity Sports Show on KDUS am1060 Arizona. This week I had an interview with University of Houston football's special assistant and head coach Don Landholm. He has strong ties to Arizona State as he was on their coaching staff from 1987 to 1991 as a defensive graduate assistant and defensive analyst with the linebackers. Landholm talks about his experience back then.
Being in the Pac-10 at that time was a very good conference. You got to play in a lot of different venues from Washington, there in Seattle, to Autzen Stadium, to as it was known at that time, Sun Devil Stadium. And just to be involved with that level of football was outstanding. So
he made his first trip out to Tempe in nearly 30 years this past weekend. This trip was a successful one as Houston beat the Sun Devils 24-16 for their first ranked win on the road since 2017. With all his experience, he reconnects with a lot of people from a lot of different universities, and this game was one of them. He met a lot of great people at Arizona State. Now here's what he learned during his time at the Sun Devils.
I worked at primarily FCS schools, Division II schools, and it gave me the opportunity to work into a
Hey, Corey, how much time are we going to have at the end of the segment?
environment. I learned what it takes. 1 minute.
Landholm now talks about what his favorite moment was with Arizona State.
When we beat Arizona I think it was the last game we were there. That was a huge moment. Arizona State had not beaten the University of Arizona in a number of years, and we won. And fans stormed the field.
This is Monica Gupta from Houston with the Varsity Sports Show on KDUS am1060 Arizona.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show on am1060 KDUS Arizona. I am Marla Mundo. It's the WNBA offseason, which means coaching changes. A team most affected by coaching changes is the New York Liberty. The Liberty were led by head coach Sandy Brondello this past season. Brondello has been with the team since the 2022 season. Before coaching the Liberty, she was the head coach for the Phoenix Mercury. Brondello won the WNBA championship with the Mercury in 2014. This offseason, the Liberty and Brondello parted ways. It was a highly criticized move as Brondello won a WNBA championship with the Liberty in 2024. The Liberty also have multiple All-Stars on the team, most notably Sabrina Ionescu and Breonna Stewart. Brondello recently was announced as the first head coach for a new expansion team, the Toronto Tempo. Brondello is also the head coach for Australia's national team.
We will be coming back shortly. How much time did Corey say we had?
Coach Olaf
1 minute? Okay.
You guys are live for 30 seconds.
Here we
He
go.
accepted the head coach position for Germany's national team. Another assistant coach, Sonia Rahman, also left the organization. She is now the head coach for the Seattle Storm. The Liberty are left with only one coach, Zach O'Brien. He's an assistant coach. The Liberty are the last team without a head coach. Marla Munda with the Varsity Sports Show, signing out.
And you're live.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060, KDUS Arizona. Vince Delicio, Keith and Thomas, and Greg Graves in studio. When we come back from the break, you don't want to miss it. We're going to mix it up a little bit. Go back to our GCU club report with the Lopes. Lopes head men's club hockey coach, Danny Roy. And he will be talking up, we'll have a chance to chat with him. He'll be talking up his big game tonight, the second annual Grand Canyon Hockey Classic up at Prescott Valley's Finley Toyota Center. Sold out crowd, 4,000 people against ASU tonight. We're going to hear more from Coach Roy. Don't go anywhere here on the Varsity Sports Show, AM 1060 KDUS. Go Varsity.
What's up, everybody? It's Rob Blackley, Medicine in Motion, out here in Paris. We're here at the Roland Garros.
Thank you for listening to the Varsity Sports Show. Our mission is to empower education and enable dreams, creating a platform to promote young people in extracurricular activities and community outreach. If you are interested in partnering up with the Varsity Sports Show, find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or call or text us at 480-779-9437. The Varsity Sports Show, Arizona's home for youth, high school, college, and you.
Hello, I'm Andrew Neeram, a junior at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication. I'm excited to show the Varsity Sports Show everything that I can offer on any side of production as I express my love for this business throughout the fall of 2025.
got to watch a nonstop lineup of games across all 4 major leagues. The NFL featured the Commanders and Chiefs, the MLB featured the Blue Jays and the Dodgers, the NBA delivered 11 total games that day, and the NHL featured the Blues against the Penguins and the Bruins against the Senators. While the sports equinox is expected every year as of now, it wasn't always like this. The first one occurred October 17, 1971, featuring Game 7 of the 1971 World Series between the Pittsburgh Pirates and the
What's up, everybody? It's Rob Blackley, Medicine in Motion, out here in Paris. We're here at the Roland Garros.
The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe, with an experience so good it remains indescribable, with something for every seafood lover. Try one of their amazing custom seafood boils, sandwiches, appetizers, and salads. Angry Crab Shack Tempe is located east of I-10 on Warner Road, 480-674-3847. The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. Come ready to eat.
In the Valley over 20 years. For general to comprehensive dental services, call 602-788-2008. Located off of Cave Creek Road.
Coach Kelly's all set for you guys.
Angel Dentistry, proud supporters of our young people and proud partners of the Varsity Sports Show.
Hi, I'm Jocelyn Dumas, a 20-year-old student athlete at Arizona State University. I play water polo for the women's water polo team at ASU, and I'm majoring in sports journalism. I am beyond excited to start my internship this fall of 2026 with Varsity Media Foundation and experiencing hands-on what it is like to work in the sports communications world.
Dan Patrick and the DMS, and more on the Dan Patrick Show weekdays from 6 to 9 a.m. on KDUS AM 1060.
And you guys are live.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona. Vince Delicio, Greg Graves, and Keithan Thomas in studio today. And we are joined by a regular guest who's been giving us a lot of great insight into the season, into the program, and that is none other than Saguaro Sabercats head football coach Darius Kelly. Coach DK, how are you doing, sir?
Doing well. How you doing?
Great, Coach. Welcome back to the program as you've been with us every week along the season, talking about the season, and wanted to start things off. We're not quite done with the regular season yet, but had a tough one the other night. And if you can kind of give us a helicopter view recap, a little bit of the game against Brophy that you hosted out there, tell us a little bit about it.
No, I mean, it was one of those games where it was just a good old-fashioned butt whooping. I mean, they dominated us in every phase of the game. But our kids played hard, man. I'm just glad our guys got a extended opportunity, go against those guys. A 6A football team that was firing all cylinders. I mean, that's what it was. Friday on Thursday night, man, and they were firing. Fitzgerald did his thing. I mean, you couldn't think of a guy who was coming in with that much hype, doing better than what he did. And we knew who he was, and he did exactly what he should have did coming into the game, and we had no answer to it, and it was just no fashion butt whooping when I see it. But I'm just proud of our guys got out there and they battled, and I'm happy to see that, and just glad to see our guys get an opportunity this week. So yeah.
Hey, Coach Kelly, this is Greg Graves here. Just a quick question for you. You mentioned you're happy to see your players out there still bought in. Even in a tough season like this, how do you ensure that the players are still giving it their all week in and week out?
Yeah, I mean that's always a tough part, right? I mean, we're 2-7 going into this last game of the season, and it's tough. It's tough for anybody. I don't care who you are and how mentally tough you may call yourself or strong. It's tough to get up and especially for the last weekend game, but for these guys, it's their last senior game. Going to this last game, it's senior night. For that part there alone, some of these guys, reality or not, I mean, it's probably going to be the last time, some of these guys put on a football helmet, period, and have an opportunity to go against another opponent. So, that part alone, just having to put that in front of them and making sure they understand that aspect is, for any of these guys, man, it could be their last play, the next play. And just trying to make sure these guys understand that aspect about the game is you're not promised the next down. So just living this down that we have right now, and but they're guaranteed one last game as a regular season tomorrow on next Friday. So just to make sure they understand that aspect is the biggest thing, man. It's just tough, but that's the reality of it all right there.
What's going on, Coach? It's Keithan Thomas. who are some players this season that stood out to you who've played well this season? Some names that come off to mind. Oliver Gibson has been pretty good, but what are some other players that have played well this season for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, if you're starting with that young crew right there, like you mentioned, you got Oliver Gibson, you got Quentin Sims, you got Ty Strozier in that group, man. But I mean, this group of seniors that we have on our roster here, I mean, they've done so much for this program. I mean, the list goes on, man. Nico Procopio. I mean, we got guys coming in as well from other areas: John Sewell, Tristan Armstrong, Jadon Wiseman, Kyle Stone, Tyler McCray, Layton McKenzie. Jack Mode, man, he's just a bit of warrior inside. Marcel Jones, Jesse Martinez, Braden Strom, Omar, Choice Price. I mean, Clay Watkins, and the list goes on. Le'Veon Buckley, he's battling through some health stuff. I mean, and the list goes on. This senior group who's just done so much for this program that is just, I can't ask for a better group of seniors who just laid it all on the line, good, bad, indifferent. Their past 4 years haven't been the greatest 4 years, haven't been the easiest path, and I mean, I can truly sit here and say this group of seniors, there's no one in the history of Saguaro history, and there's a lot of history at Saguaro, but no one in the history, no class in the history of Saguaro has gone through and battled what this class has battled through. And it's just amazing to watch these guys battle through a lot of adversity that no one that you guys would know about. Nobody would know about unless you're here every day. No one would know the adversity that they battled through, and they've done an amazing job. And I'm just super proud of who they are and who they're going to become. So that senior class, my hat's off to them, because it's just, there's nothing that no one has gone through more adversity than these guys, and no one has battled it and gone through it like they have.
Yeah, Coach. So, obviously when results aren't going the way you want, sometimes it's hard to, feel great about the season. But looking back, how do you measure progress within yourself or these young men beyond just the scoreboard and the wins and losses?
Yeah, I mean, that's the tough fight, right? I mean, you're judged on your wins and losses. It's point blank period, and that's just the way it goes. And when you don't win, you're called a loser, right? But for me, I just try to get these guys to understand that there's other ways to find the W's, and going through life in general, finding the W's is tough to do sometimes, but you got to do it, and for us, it's just as being a school who is so used to winning, is so used to having the championships banners being
2 minutes on coach.
When you don't have the W in the column, it's tough. So it's just the mental battle of who our guys are, and just understanding the situation that we're in. It's I never want to make excuses for anything, but that the situation that we are in Saguaro, we're not the Saguaro alone. We're not playing 4A football anymore. We're not playing 5A. We're playing big boy 6A football with a roster that's a third of the size of what it used to be. And for us, we go out there every week and try to make sure these guys understand that the circumstance that you're in isn't who you are, and the outcome that may come up, good or bad, is not going to define who you are as a person. What's going to define you who you are as a person is how you go through it, how you react to it, how you respond, and how you get up every day and you look yourself in the mirror and say you gave it everything you got. And that's the reality. If you can look at yourself in the mirror and say you gave it everything you got, and you did everything you can to win, you did everything that you can do, no one can sit here and take anything away from you. And that's the message that I want these seniors and then everybody to know in this community, man. Like these guys and myself and this coaching staff did everything we could to make sure we put our kids in positions and on the field and off the field to be successful. And
woman on coach.
It's just it sucks, to lose, but at the end of the day, right, these are 15, 16, 17-year-old kids playing a game that, you know, we as adults and we as a community have made it bigger than what it is, but it is bigger than what it is because this game of football is, in my opinion, the closest thing to what life looks like is this game of football. It's the ultimate team sport. You can't do it by yourself. You need everybody around you to get it done. And that's the game of life. And football is the ultimate team sport. And it's going to teach you a lot of lessons on and off the field that no other sport, no nothing can teach you like this game of football. So that's the reality of what I preach to these kids and where we're going to go and how the wins and losses are justified and how we're going to make sure we get through the opportunity to get through these tough times and we're not there knowing that it's not always going to be like this, good or bad. So yeah, that's
Awesome.
that's what I have for that answer.
Coach Darius Kelly, Saguaro Sabercats. Coach, thanks again for joining us as you have all season long. We appreciate it. We look forward to circling back with you next week as you prepare for the regular season finale against Shadow Ridge and senior night. Coach Darius Kelly. Thanks again, Coach.
Thank you.
Take it away, Corey.
All clear, guys?
I'm Abigail Hardy, and you're listening to the Varsity
segment of the Varsity Sports Show. Thank you all so much for tuning into the show. My name is Ethan Troll, and let's get back to it.
The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe, with an experience so good it remains indescribable, with something for every seafood lover. Try one of their amazing custom seafood boils, sandwiches, appetizers, and salads. Angry Crab Shack Tempe is located east of I-10 on Warner Road, 480-674-3847. The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. Come ready to eat. APAC is your one-stop source for all your automotive and heavy-duty air conditioning parts, supplies, and equipment. They're family-owned and have been the Valley's go-to for all your auto AC needs since 1982. Whether it's for your everyday or vintage car, commercial, or off-road vehicle or equipment, APAC has you covered. Call APAC, AAPAK, the AC experts at 602-254-1116 and ask for the Varsity Special to get 10% off your purchase.
Hello, Varsity Sports Show family. I'm Tommaso Perez from ASU. Join me as I bring you inspiring sports stories and updates from our Catholic schools, where faith, tradition, and athletics come together. Catch me live on KDUS 1060 AM Saturdays from 9 to 11 and during Varsity Sports Show game broadcast.
What's up, everybody? It's Rob Blackley, Medicine in Motion, out here in Paris. We're here at the Roland Garros.
This program is paid for by the Varsity Media Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit educational organization, and its partners.
You're listening to the Varsity Sports Show, home of Arizona's youth, high school, college sports, and you, empowering education and enabling dreams, right here on KDUS AM 1060 in Arizona. And now, welcome to the Varsity Sports Show. And you're live.
Welcome back to hour number 2 of the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona. Vince DeLisio in studio, Greg Graves and Keithan Thomas. And joining us on the line with quite a mammoth victory the other night, Brophy Broncos head football coach Jason Jewell. Coach Jewell, how are you spending the day? You sitting back in the hot tub? What you just kind of resting? What do you got going on?
Yeah, I could only wish. My wife is doing some spring cleaning right now. I'm sitting on the couch breaking down Williamsfield because it looks like we'll be playing them for the region championship next week. And then I have the background playing the North Texas Navy game because one of my former players, Sean Paul Brophy, coaches the quarterbacks of North Texas, so I'm rooting him on right now.
That's awesome, Coach. All right, Keithan Thomas here. So, like you mentioned, Williamsfield is next week, region championship. We also have the playoffs coming up. So, what's the game plan here? How are we managing both finishing off the regular season strong and then beginning to prep for the postseason?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to take it one game at a time, right? Little coaching cliche, right? So one of our goals is to win the region. So if we're able to beat Williamsfield, it's like a three-way tie with Higley and Williamsfield. So because Williamsfield beat Higley last night, so then I believe it goes to PowerPoint. So the winner of this week should be region champs. So yeah, crazy. But yeah, get after Williamsfield is the goal. We know we're in the playoffs already. We pretty confident we're going to be in the Open 12 as well. So yeah, just go after Williamsfield. We have no clue who we're going to face in the playoffs. So we got to get this week 10 win. That's most important.
Hey, Coach Joel, Greg Graves here. So obviously there's been a lot of buzz around your program this year and a lot of outside noise, a lot of, like you mentioned, the rankings. How do you ensure that your players just stay focused on the process and not everything else going on outside of it?
I mean, it's tough because, there's 7,000 different polls and what people talk on social media and all that stuff. And our kids, they're glued to their phones. So I don't think you can avoid it. It's just trying to keep them level-headed and grounded. I never lie to our kids or BS our kids on our opponent, what we think of them. And this week, we know that we're playing a very, very good and well-coached Williamsville team. The last 2 weeks or 2 years has come down to the wire. Last year, we won on a last-second touchdown pass, and then the year before, they got us on a 2-point conversion at the end of the regulation. So 2 close games were expected the same. They're big, tough, physical, have 2 stud running backs, so it's going to be a great challenge for us.
Absolutely. Now, with a lot of the attention going to your top players, your Devin Fitzgeralds and your Case Vandenbosch's, who are some players that have shined this season that you don't think get enough coverage or attention?
Well, Dalen Sharper is a big-time player for us that missed the first 4 or 5 games due to an injury. He's back and playing well, so that's a huge weapon. He had 200 yards against Higley a couple weeks ago. I think Ryder Noche is a kid that can do about anything for us. He's played corner, he's played nickel, he's played safety. He returned the kickoff, 99 yards for a score last week against Saguaro. He blocked a field goal against Saguaro. He's one of our few two-way players as well. Really love Ryder. He's only a junior, so we get him going like that after this one.
Awesome. Coach Jason Jewell from Brophy College Prep, big win the other night. Coach got another big one. Old friend Steve Campbell out at Williamsfield. That guy keeps growing every year. I think he was 6'7" when he started coaching. I think he's probably 7'4" now. But anyway, Coach, thanks again, and good luck this week.
Thank you. Steve is the only coach out there that makes me look small.
That's hilarious. Gotta love Coach Jason Jewell and the Brophy family out there. It has been a joy to cover, and just great people, Steve Schaff and AD Josh Garcia. So anyway, with that, we're going to send it over to Corey, who's going to give us a little preview of GCU club hockey. Take it away, Corey.
The Varsity Sports Show, here to give you the latest on college hockey in Arizona. The Grand Canyon University men's club hockey team is gearing up for its biggest games of the year this Saturday, November 1st. We will look to face off against the Arizona State University men's club team at the Finley Toyota Center in Prescott Valley.
Conrad is going to be calling in as soon as these are done. We got literally 2-3 minutes, so I'll run this because we don't have a lot of time. I just want to get them on.
Yeah. Fans, and this season's event is once again expected to pack the arena. Both schools compete in the American Collegiate Hockey Association, or ACHA Division I, the highest level of college club hockey. GCU enters the weekend ranked among the top 10 teams nationally and is pushing to break into the top 8 by the season's end.
Coach Hamilton has said we'll have him on here with you in about 2 minutes.
And with 7 goals and 9 total points, alongside strong support from Michael Schwartz and Max Jacobsma. In goal, Jacob Lemorinville has been dominant, posting a 0.54 goals against average, one of the best in the entire ACHA. Their opponent, the ASC Sun Devils club team, brings plenty of offensive firepower as well, with Matthew Gross leading ASU with 6 goals and 16 points, and goaltender Aiden Manning has been steady with a 1.69 goals against average. The Sun Devils are known for their fast, physical style, and anytime these two programs meet, it's a hard-hitting, high-energy matchup. After reaching nationals this year, GCU has made it clear that this year's goal is more than just another appearance. It's to compete for a championship. With returning players, new talent, and a growing fan base, the Lobes are ready to make another statement under the Prescott Valley lights. Puck drop is set for 7:30 p.m. Saturday night at Fenway Toyota Center. You do not want to miss this. I'm Carmen Lewis with the Varsity Sports Show.
One of the biggest topics in all of sports this fall, the college football season coaching carousel. With some of the biggest programs parting with their coaches, and some huge names are now available. Across the country, programs are making major changes. UCLA and Virginia Tech made early moves, Penn State parted ways with James Franklin, and LSU dismissed Brian Kelly, despite hefty buyouts attached to both coaches' contracts. Patience is running thin in today's college football landscape. With expanded playoffs, the transfer portal, and record-breaking television deals, athletic departments are demanding constant top results. If it doesn't happen, the money isn't stopping the change. Once major jobs open in conferences like the SEC and Big Ten, the ripple effect begins. Coaches at other schools and smaller conferences come to take these positions, resulting in a smaller school having to make moves. Recruiting pipelines change drastically, while some lead individual schools to follow the newly hired coach. Even conference dynamics can change with a single hire. There are several head coaching candidates to be honored. Lane Kiffin, head coach of Ole Miss, has been consistently talked about with multiple different openings. He'll be at the forefront of many teams' attempts at being a great coach. To
You're live in 30 seconds.
guy to watch. And he's turned to him with great program, seen over 13 steps under his watch so far. The final guy, Georgia Tech head coach Brent Key. He has brought the Yellow Jackets
Whatever, how we want to improve our play and just our overall program. I mean, this is a big part of kind of how we approach the process. If it's not process driven, it's not driven the right way. So that's kind of how we want to approach things. And we got to get better. We're not worried about losing the last 2 games.
1 minute on coach.
Our mindset and our effort and the things that we need to do better to be back on the successful track. You know, if we're just looking at the scoreboard, then we're approaching everything the wrong way.
Awesome. Coach Conrad Hamilton, Desert Mountain football coach. Looking forward to covering you guys next week and having you back on to break down the game. Thanks again, Coach. Good luck.
Yeah, appreciate you. You bet. Bye.
All right. Corey, let's take us into the break. Guys, when we come back from the break, we are going to have more coverage of GCU hockey with Braden Husby, one of the members of the GCU Club men's hockey team. Big match tonight, sellout in Prescott Valley. We'll be there, and we'll be back. Go Varsity.
James Out West, bringing the best of the NFL, NBA, and more every other Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060.
Thank you for listening to the Varsity Sports Show. Our mission is to empower education and enable dreams, creating a platform to promote young people in extracurricular activities and community outreach. If you are interested in partnering up with the Varsity Sports Show, find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or call or text us at 480-779-9437. The Varsity Sports Show, Arizona's home for youth, high school, college, and you. Hey fans, Vince with the Varsity Sports Show. You've had the rest. Now treat yourself to the best Japanese grill in Arizona. It's the Boss. Boss Bachi Japanese Grill in Mesa. Grilled shrimp, steak, and all the best veggies with or without a twist of spice. Sure to please everyone. Dine in or take out. Located at University and Country Club in Mesa. Open daily. 602-859-3759. The Boss. Boss Bachi. Hablamos Español.
Or it always goes at 20 degrees KDUS. I was born doing one of the month old. Okay. But then and
all right, guys, back with more GCU Club report. With we're going to talk again a little bit more hockey because of the impact of tonight's game, heading up to Prescott Valley, the Finley Toyota Center for the Grand Canyon Hockey Classic and the second annual, I might add. Last year was so good that they decided to bring them back up. And joining us today, a member of the GCU Club men's hockey team, senior Braden Husby. Braden, first of all, welcome to the program, and I'm really excited to talk to you and talk a little bit about your team. How you doing?
Hey, Vince, I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on. Looking forward to this weekend.
Yeah, I bet. Now let's talk a little bit about you and your teammates. And so, again, big one tonight up there. And so far in the season, you guys are coming off a Nationals appearance from last season. You got a top 10 ranking. You're getting a lot of respect out there. how does how does all of that make you guys feel, and how do you think it's helping you prepare for tonight?
The Magic are like mid-quarter.
Yeah, last year going to nationals was great for the team. It really opened up what it takes to be a top 10 team.
The Hawks are always
Ultimately looking to become the top 8. Yeah, I mean, the guys, we have a lot of returners this year, so a lot of experience to show the new guys kind of the ropes, kind of about the league, and the physicality that comes with it.
Being a senior, you've been around the block a few times, and for me, call me a novice. I haven't had a chance to really drill down and watch you guys play this season, but I'll have an opportunity tonight, and I am so excited to do that. But how would you describe, just maybe from a helicopter view, someone that's watching GCU men's hockey, how would you describe your team?
We're not going to be the flashiest team. We're pretty gritty, hard to the paint, get pucks deep, and score in the corners and work hard, and get to the front of net and bang pucks in.
When you look at your opponent tonight in ASU, and you've had a chance through the years to face them every year, what are you expecting from them?
It's always going to be a physical game against them. They're pretty hard on the forecheck. Love hitting, finishing their hits. It's going to be a little bit of a different aspect this year with their new coaching staff. So still expecting a hard-nosed game against them.
From South Dakota, so it's not exactly a hop, skip, and a jump. Coming to GCU and being a senior, how did you end up in the desert of all places?
Yeah, so I was playing junior hockey in Las Vegas, and Danny reached out to me and just asked if I had any interest in coming. And I just decided that summer, hey, let's go to GCU. Never been to the school, never toured it, didn't know what to expect until I showed up my first day, and I fell in love with it ever since.
Best decision you feel like you've ever made?
Yes, I would not trade it for anything else.
Obviously, and having roommates that are guys on the team, you've got a pretty close bond with those guys. Is that how it is across the board with everybody? Veterans and as well as the rookies on the team.
Yeah, we try to bring everyone in and get everyone involved right away. We tried building a close relationship off the get-go this year. Took the whole team retreat up north right away to get everyone to kind of know each other and away from every other distraction possible. So, we got a really good group of guys this year.
You mentioned staying away from the distractions. You got to be excited. Again, I don't want to make you nervous, but a sellout crowd tonight, you're expecting a ballpark around 4,000 people up there, and you did this last year. How does it feel heading back up to Prescott Valley where they are just nuts for hockey?
Oh, you're right. They brought the energy last year, and we've been looking forward to it ever since we found out we were going back. This game has been circled on the calendar since last year, and the boys are fired up and ready to go for it, so it's gonna be good.
Awesome. Guys, head on up. Prescott Valley Finley Toyota Center, 3201 North Main Street tonight. Major hockey action in the Grand Canyon Hockey Classic, the second annual. And it's going to be a lot of fun. It is going to be electric. We'll be up there for the broadcast, doing the broadcast, and looking forward to, I'll be ringside as well, doing some interviews and whatnot, having a lot of fun out there, and I'll pack my parka as well. I'm not a big cold weather guy, but I'll get through it. It'll be fun, and you guys are going to have a blast, and looking forward to covering the team. So, Braden Husby, GCU Club Men's Hockey. Thanks again, Braden. Good luck tonight.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
It has been an incredible season of high school football in the Valley, filled with highs and lows, standout performances, teams rising to the top, and competitiveness on another level. But for some schools, the season has been better than others. At the start of the regular season, Arizona had 3 schools that were far above the rest. Liberty is coming off of 2 straight state titles. Basha, who has been contending for Liberty with those state titles, is great again. And Hamilton, who has been consistent, has a lot of talent. These 3 schools have continued to be better than the rest, but it has been Hamilton who has come out on top so far. Last weekend, a battle of undefeated teams between Basha and Hamilton took place in Chandler, with Hamilton winning 28-12 and taking over the top spot in the state. Hamilton is led by head coach Travis Dixon and the top receiver in the state, Roy Oliver III. In Dixon's second season, he has his team at 8-0 and in the driver's seat to win their first state title in over a decade. On the other side of things, it has been a bit of a rough season for some notable schools. Saguaro is still struggling off the back of their 1-9 2024 season, and ALA Queen Creek is 3-5, but are showing signs of turning things around as they have won 3 straight games. Overall, high school football in the Valley has been terrific this year, and hopefully it continues to be great until we get a champion crown in December.
Arizona high school football is full of incredibly talented student athletes from across the state, with 6 A schools in Arizona taking up a majority of the spotlight. However, I wanted to highlight some of the state's top players from outside of the Big 6 A schools. My name is Katie Thomas, and here are some of my favorite players from the 5A, 4A, and 3A schools. Starting in 5A, Cactus Shadow, senior quarterback Jonathan Dixon. Dixon has amassed over 8,000 yards with this season being one of his best. He's completed almost 70% of his passes for 2,416 yards and touchdowns entering following weekends. He's helped lead the Falcons with a 5-4 record with most losses to all of 5A's top programs. He's a 3-star recruit and committed to NAU. Next in 4A, we have one of Arizona's hidden defensive gem standouts, Copper Canyon's Jeremiah Adams Curry. The senior defensive star has been a game record, totaling an astonishing 21 sacks on the season, in addition to 75 total tackles and even 2 rushing touchdowns on the opposite side of the ball. Curry has helped Copper Canyon to a 5-4 record, heading into a final big-time matchup against Carl Hayden on Monday night. Lastly, in 3A is the definition of a dual threat quarterback in Joseph Benali over at Page High School. With over 1,300 passing yards on 60% completion percentage and 19 passing touchdowns, the senior Sand Devils also amassed 686 rushing yards and 7 rushing touchdowns this season. He's helped lead the Sand Devils to a 7-2 record, but undefeated in their region, with their final regular season game coming up against Wickenburg happening on Thursday. Those were some of my under-the-radar players for the 2025 high school football season. My name is Keith Thomas with Varsity Sports. She's rice and up with Subway.
No, I actually agree. It's like I don't do it like that. You can make like most people only can like I don't know. I think I supposed to watch this. I don't know. I think I want to legit think about it.
Hey guys, Vince here to talk about Angel Dentistry. It's where my wife and I have gone for over 10 years, and we trust them with our routine and extensive dental care because they care. Dr. Amber Angel is an Arizona native, born in the town of Miami, and has been practicing in the Valley over 20 years. For general to comprehensive dental services, call 602-788-2008. Located off of Cave Creek Road just north of the 101 in North Phoenix. Angel Dentistry, proud supporters of our young people and proud partners of the Varsity Sports Show. The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe, with an experience so good it remains indescribable, with something for every seafood lover. Try one of their amazing custom seafood boils, sandwiches, appetizers, and salads. Angry Crab Shack Tempe is located east of I-10 on Warner Road, 480-674-3847. The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. Come ready to eat. APAC is your one-stop source for all your automotive and heavy-duty air conditioning parts, supplies, and equipment. They're family-owned and have been the Valley's go-to for all your auto AC needs since 1982. Whether it's for your everyday or vintage car, commercial, or off-road vehicle or equipment, APAC has you covered. Call APAC, AAPAK, the AC experts at 602-254-1116 and ask for the Varsity Special to get 10% off your purchase.
It's 5 to 6 p.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060 and the KDUS 1060 app.
And you guys are live.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona. Vince DeLisio, Keithan Thomas, and Greg Graves in studio, joined on the line as he's done all season long. A great partner of ours in the Horizon Huskies, and the head guy, Coach Tyson Ditmore. Coach Ditmore, I've got a visual of you right now, smiling, and because that seems like how every time I see you, that's what I see. Are you smiling right now?
Yeah. When you say the word smile, I think it's contagious. And the other thing is we're doing a little playoff party here. We've got all our boys, so they're making me smile, and it's a great little day for us.
Well, sure. What's going on, Coach? Keithan Thomas here. So you guys have finished the season off strong after that loss to Highland a couple weeks ago. Desert Mountain, big victory there, and then you handled Chaparral very handily. With the playoff selection coming up in just a few hours, what's the vibe? What's the energy right now around the team?
I think for us, we are one of our goals. Our main goal this year was to get to this bye, and it's a small celebration in itself. But for us too, we need to know where we're going to end up. Getting a chance to kind of play things out. But we really have to get healthy. We're kind of banged up. So,
hey, Coach, Greg Graves here. So when you look back on your journey so far this season, and it's been an awesome season so far, what has made you just proud of your team and what they've done?
Well, I think, no team really wants to, you don't want to lose games, but I think our two losses, a total of 4 points, in both of those losses, I think we learned so much in those. And then, we found ourselves in learning how to be competitors and gaining that experience that we needed. And I think that's the best part of the journey, is that our kids were coachable and we were able to improve every week.
So Vince was talking to Coach Hamilton earlier. He was talking about the coach's intuition. You kind of have a feel of who you might be playing in the playoffs. Do you have an idea of who you might be playing coming up here, or is it still kind of up in the air?
For me, Coach Hamilton probably has a little bit more. He's got more experience than me. This is my second year as a head coach. I'm still a little bit nervous. I don't know where we're going to fall. And I think part of it too is last year, we get chosen to go to the Open. So this is kind of new territory for me as a head coach. But, I think for us, we're just excited that hopefully we can get a first round bye.
Yeah, Coach. So obviously this year has been a success, and offensively, defensively, both sides of the ball have been great. I've had the chance to see it with my own eyes. But when you associate your football team, what do you want people to think about them when they step on the field?
For us, we want to be physical, right? We want to be able to run the ball. We want to play great defense and then have some fun on special teams. And I think that's our identity, not necessarily in that order. And we've got awesome coaches that, know how to put our players in great positions. And at the end of the day, we get great athletes here that come from good families, and, everybody just supports. And our boys are just good football players. We're very blessed to have great football players coming into this program.
Absolutely. Now, of course, with this team, there's a lot of star athletes, the big three, of course. Who are some players that you don't think get enough attention from media outlets like ourselves that you think should?
Well, there's a guy, a couple guys off the top of my head. I think, two of them are on defense. One is Gage Lee, our middle linebacker, number 22, and then Stratton Nee, number 5, our free safety, kind of fast safety. Those guys are seniors. This is their second year of playing varsity, and they just, they get it. They understand. They know how to get us in the right calls, and just a ton of respect for those kids on the field. But more importantly, they're great leaders. They're understanding that, their football careers aren't going to take them for the rest of their lives, and they're going to have to be great people. So they get that too, and just just humbled to be around, their presence and who they are as kids.
Absolutely. And so as you prepare for the playoffs, what is your like message to the locker room, to the guys, even coaches on the staff alongside you, of keeping expectations, at a minimum and just playing your game each and every week?
Well, the message for us is we've got to be healthy. That's number one. But we've also got to find ourselves in a run. Our goal is hot and healthy. Those are the two words that we're using consistently. Every great team that makes a playoff run is hot and healthy, and we got to focus on those things. And I think it's up to our coaches and our kids to, kind of continue that message however they want to in their designated units.
And then, Coach, so this was the last regular season game for your seniors. Just tell us a little bit more about that senior class this season. A lot of the cool stories from that class. Just tell us like your perspective and what you'll remember from this senior class.
I'll tell you what, I had a great mentor, Greg Davis over at TV. When I came in last year, I was like, I love our seniors. Last year we had 22 or 23 of them, and I told Coach Davis, I was like, I wish I had more of a connection with these guys. And Coach Davis was like, it's tough when you come in a new program. Those guys, they haven't been underneath you. He said, you're juniors now, which is our senior group. He said that group is really, really going to be connected to you, and you're never going to forget about them. And he's right. These kids have done everything right. There's 28 of them now, and we're just really blessed to have them. And they push my buttons in all the right ways. They know how to make me mad. They know how to make me smile. So it's fun.
Yeah, so Coach, I know you one game at a time, it's always the mindset. But when you think about Horizon future, I mean, what excites you the most about where this program is headed at the moment?
I mean, for us, we are hitting our pillars.
2 minutes on Coach.
Then, unfortunately, the ball didn't bounce our way with, winning the region, but, we made the playoffs. And, from there, it's 1 week at a time. But I think, our JV team only lost 2 games this year, and they lost by a total of 8 points. They lost to Brophy, they lost to Notre Dame Prep. We've got some really, really great young ball players.
Coach Tyson Didmore, Horizon Huskies head football coach, as he and his team await the postseason announcements. Coach, thanks again for jumping on today. I know things were the schedule was kind of up in the air, but we've appreciated you letting us into your program every week this season, talking about the boys, all the good things going on out there, as well as our partnership here, which is wrapping up year number 4. So thanks again. And Coach, good luck. We are eagerly anticipating a great seating for next week. So thanks, Coach, and potentially a bye. Take care, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Tyson Didmore. God, it's interesting because he really is. He embodies, what I was saying earlier about it's okay to be a nice guy and still win a lot of games, because he's doing it there. And he even talked about, the boys know how to push his buttons sometimes. And sometimes he knows when to be, smiling. And sometimes that smile turns into a little bit of a scowl. But Coach Didmore is doing all the right things out there, and the community is very excited to have him. It's a great partnership that's reciprocated well between coach and community. So they got a good formula out there at Horizon. And with that, we are going to send it out to Danny McDermott, who is going to give us a kind of a quick playoff preview in Arizona high school football. Take it away, Corey.
All clear.
Hired Arizona high school football. The playoff picture in the Grand Canyon State is shifting thanks to a decisive result from just last week. In a showdown between 2 of the state's top programs, the Hamilton Huskies visited the Bachelor Bears Friday night and looked no doubt. With a 28-12 victory, Hamilton has started itself as a major playoff contender. This wasn't just another win. This one changed things. Basha, long seen as a dominant force, now has to regroup. In Hamilton, they're climbing the ranks, they're making noise, and they're sending a signal. Here's why that game matters for the playoffs. Basha's loss opens a door for reseeding, for momentum shifts, and for teams to step up to the challenge. And when one of the challengers is the Liberty Lions, that door swings wide. Let's talk about Liberty. Liberty Lions claimed the Open Division State Championship, beating Bashop 35-17 last December. That result confirmed their status in Arizona's top program, headline makers, trendsetters, and the team to beat. With Bashop's earlier stumble this season and Liberty carrying the momentum of past success, the landscape is shifting. If Hamilton keeps winning and Bashop slips, Liberty stands poised to claim or reinforce its top dog status. So what happens next? The playoff looms, and every game matters. For Hamilton, keep stacking the wins, show them that they're ready to play. For Bashop, recover, reassert. For Liberty, keep leading, show that there's no dethroning them just yet. Friday's result was more than just a score on the board. It was a statement, a playoff ripple that could turn into a wave. Stay with us as we follow the bracket highlights pivotal games with Varsity Sports Show. I'm Dating McDermott.
Hello, everyone. This is Javier Delgado with the Varsity Sports Show, and I will be doing a recap of UFC 321 in Abu Dhabi and a little preview of the next UFC card, which is a fight night in Las Vegas at the UFC Apex. So to kick off UFC 321, we had a ranked light heavyweight bout between Alexander Rakic and Asma Mirzakhanov, where Mirzakhanov won by TKO in the first round. The next fight, we had a ranked heavyweight matchup between Alexander Volkov and Jailton Almeida. Volkov won by split decision, which some people call it very controversial, but he got the wins as a slight underdog. Then the next bout was the featured bout between Umar Nurmagomedov and Mario Bautista, two ranked bantamweight fighters. Nurmagomedov dominated and got the win by unanimous decision. In the co-main event, it was a strawweight women's title bout for the vacant championship belt between Virna Jandiroba and Mackenzie Dern, and Mackenzie Dern was able to come out with a victory by unanimous decision. And then the
Okay, so we have two games on the grid tonight. One at 3:30.
The heavyweight belt on the line. There was no winner. It was a no contest. As
You guys good?
I poked
manage
Tom
that with
Aspinall
Coach
in the first
Madarsky, bring us
round.
back
Aspinall
and-
could not
And
continue.
turn it over.
And to
Yeah,
preview
we
the
can
next
start
card,
talking about
to headline it,
pretty
it's
much
Steve
talk about
Garcia
recruiting
and
also
David
what's going
O'Neill,
on out there with
two
kids athletes
ranked
here,
featherweight
including
fighters. It should
the
be an
league,
entertaining fight.
as
The
well
co-main event
as
will be a ranked
just
heavyweight bout between
overall,
Waldo Cortez
community
Acosta
outreach
and
and
Ante
recruiting outreach
Delija.
to the league.
Sixth
Okay,
ranked
there's a
Cortez
lot to work
Acosta
with
and
there.
ninth ranked Delija should be a very fun fight.
Hello and welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show. My name is Spencer McIntyre from the University of Arizona.
Corey, how much time are we gonna have?
72nd Annual University of Arizona.
I can get you 1 minute.
Saturday, November 1st. We thought it fitting to take a look at the history of the event, as well as some parts of the schedule that you can look forward to. Starting back in 1954, University of Arizona Band Day is a competition where marching bands from throughout Arizona come to perform and are rated by a panel of judges in several categories, including music, visual, percussion, the Pride of Arizona Marching Band, becoming the first band in the United States to incorporate moving formations and marching charts. The day is sectioned off into more
Back on 1 minute.
different high school bands will showcase their halftime shows, along with exhibition performances following each session by the U of A's Pride of Arizona. Last year, with their halftime show themed the music of Michael Jackson, Pride became the 34th recipient of the prestigious Sutler Trophy, a highly sought-after award given to college marching bands for their musical innovation and acceptance. This year's show features the music of Lady Gaga. This year, participating high schools include Micah Mountain, South Point Catholic, and Tonka Verde, performing in the morning and early afternoon. Desert View, Canyon Del Oro, and Catalina Foothills performing in the late afternoon and evening, and many more throughout the day. Well, that's all we have time for. Once again, thank you for tuning in to the Varsity Sports Show. My name is Spencer McIntyre, and now let's get back to the action.
And you are live.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show, AM 1060, KDUS Arizona. Vince Delicio, Greg Graves, and Keithan Thomas in studio today. Action-packed as we await the announcement of playoff seedings in Arizona high school football. We've been joined by some coaches who joined us throughout the season as well. So a lot of fun. Great to get their insight. Very transparent about each of their programs. Speaking of which, coming up after the break, a very good friend of mine and a very good friend of our program, Coach Doug Madarsky, the executive director of the HJCAC, of which we are very fortunate to provide exclusive coverage of, and being myself being the league spokesman as well. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a great partnership that is 7 years running now. We'll be back with Coach Madarsky. Don't go anywhere, guys. couple of big games tonight for JUCO football here in Arizona, and we'll get a state of the state from Coach Medoski after the break. Go Varsity.
It gets a little crazy with the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Beerstein. Weekdays 5 to 6 p.m. right here on KDUS.
The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe, with an experience so good it remains indescribable, with something for every seafood lover. Try one of their amazing custom seafood boils, sandwiches, appetizers, and salads. Angry Crab Shack Tempe is located east of I-10 on Warner Road, 480-674-3847. The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. Come ready to eat. Hey guys, Vince here to talk about Angel Dentistry. It's where my wife and I have gone for over 10 years, and we trust them with our routine and extensive dental care because they care. Dr. Amber Angel is an Arizona native, born in the town of Miami, and has been practicing in the Valley over 20 years. For general to comprehensive dental services, call 602-788-2008. Located off of Cave Creek Road just north of the 101 in North Phoenix. Angel Dentistry, proud supporters of our young people and proud partners of the Varsity Sports Show. APAC is your one-stop source for all your automotive and heavy-duty air conditioning parts, supplies, and equipment. They're family-owned and have been the Valley's go-to for all your auto AC needs since 1982. Whether it's for your everyday or vintage car, commercial, or off-road vehicle or equipment, APAC has you covered. Call APAC, AA-PAK, the AC experts at 602-254-1116 and ask for the Varsity Special to get 10% off your purchase.
Detrás de cámara y todo lo que pasa dentro y fuera del campo. Esto es Viva Varsity, donde el deporte agarra vida en tu idioma.
The Varsity Sports Show, an all-access look around high school and college sports through Arizona and beyond. Live Saturday mornings 9 to 11 a.m. on KDUS AM 1060.
It's the JUCO Report on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona, the Varsity Sports Show. News and notes from the Hoboken Junior College Athletic Conference.
And you're live.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona. Vince DeLisio, Greg Graves, Keith and Thomas in studio, and joining us on the line. And now I got to say, when he decided this is the first year he hasn't coached in a lot of years, a football team. And I figured, he said, Vince, I'm going to take a step back this year, take it easy, go on vacation, maybe do some yard work, some honeydews, go to Home Depot, stuff like that, Bed Bath & Beyond. And but you've been kind of busy, Coach Medoski.
Yeah, it has been a little bit busy, and I'm sure Jen probably doesn't have to be able to do the same things. And so she hasn't been real thrilled with my lack of progress on this and my irritability every Saturday that comes around. I should rather be just coach. If I'm going to be irritated and not get the stuff that I should get done, then she'd rather I just go ahead and coach and be a lot less irritated.
There you go.
Hey, Coach, Greg Graves here. So just speaking to the league in itself, what makes this JUCO league a strong league for athletes aiming to play in college?
Say that again. I missed the beginning part of the question.
Yeah. What makes this, what you've created in essence, a strong league for athletes aiming to play in college?
I think that first thing I'd say is I don't think it's a strong league. I think that it is, comparatively speaking, it's a strong league, but I think that there's always the ability to become a stronger league. I think we're never going to settle where we're currently at. I think that we can do more. I think we can be better. I think that it really just comes down to that next opportunity. Is that we've done this so many different ways, and my experience, both as a player at the community college level and then certainly all the years that I've coached at the community college level, I think that where we become unique and where we have the ability to be much stronger than even the traditional model of it is that we don't have to deal with all of the I don't want to say the red tape aspect, but we are driven athletically first and foremost from doing everything we possibly can athletically to help these guys have the best opportunity to have each student athlete with us have the best opportunity on the field. You know, it's really about working with the people that are great at what they do. I think one of the things earlier in the season we had talked about that the Maricopa County Community College District, they do a great job. I mean, a phenomenal job with the resources and the services they have for their students. You know, I mean, academically, they're a top-notch institution, facilities, all of that, and those services. I think that what we're really trying to do is take what we specialize in from an athletic standpoint and marry it with what they specialize in from an academic standpoint. And I think that when you put the two together, people focus on what they're the best at, we have an opportunity to create something really, really special.
Well, sure. What's going on, Coach? Keaton Thomas here. So 2 big games this week: Sonoran Sidewinders versus Gila River, and then the Papago Pumas take on ACU. Tell us a little bit about how the ACU partnership with you guys kind of blossomed and how important they've been in kind of helping bring legitimacy to the league, so to speak.
You know, I mean, Coach Bowen, I mean, how that came about was, you know, when we first started up with the HJCAC, I guess I'll call it 6.5 years ago now. You know, looking, obviously, we need games to play and wanting to primarily focus on helping the student athletes in the state of Arizona and focus first and foremost in the state of Arizona. So we had reached out to the AI universities, Arizona Christian being one of them, and asked if they had any interest in participating in the league, not from an actual member aspect, but just from an opportunity to play and compete. And they've got a development program that they bring in guys to do very similar things to what a community college is doing as far as play some of those early years on the development team and then ultimately work their way up to the varsity level for them. You know, so those guys didn't have the opportunity to really play before when they were at that level. Obviously, we insert with 4 or 5 teams, depending on which year we were. I think early we were 5 teams, but, you know, we insert with that, and it provides then opportunities for those guys to go out and continue to work and practice to the things that they're doing, but then to go out and play a competitive game. For us, it obviously gave us the extra games, but I think the real benefit that helps both ends of it is in the recruiting side of it. I know one of the things that I've shared with kids whether I've been recruiting or as a coach is that recruiting is never an exact science. You never know exactly. You can project the guy. We all hear about the guy that's a first-round draft pick, number 1 overall pick, and he's a bust. So you never really know exactly what it's going to, if that player's skill set is going to translate, it's going to really work or not. So there's always still that margin of error when you're trying to gauge whether or not it's going to be successful or not successful. I think that's really one of the advantages for ACU is they get the opportunity to see our kids competing against kids that they've already vetted and said are good enough to play for them. So they've got the opportunity to see those kids compete against them, and I think that really helps the recruiting end of it. When they're out recruiting our guys, they know when they come recruit one of our guys, they're watching 2 games of film on them or 3 games of film against their actual team. So they know that guy is the guy that they can count on and come in here, compete right away and play. You know, so I think it's been really good. Obviously, from our standpoint, we don't care where our guys go. At the end of the day, as long as they're going to a 4-year college, as long as they're continuing to work and they graduate with a degree, that's really all we're concerned about. We want to just help facilitate that movement for them. So if Coach Bowen and ACU, comes in and recruits a ton of guys, we have a ton of guys that want to go there, but it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, Coach, and kind of looking like into the future aspect of it. What's sort of your vision for increasing the number of athletes who move on to these 4-year programs?
I mean, recruiting is an interesting time right now. You know, you've got to let a couple of these things. There's some things going on at the NC2A level where there are lawsuits that are getting settled, not settled. Seems like they're going to be settled, and then it blows all back up again. So they've got the things that they're working through there that constantly seem to shift the dynamics of recruiting. But I think that really part of it is staying in contact with that and paying close attention to what way recruiting and roster sizes and opportunities at that level are starting to change and ebb and flow a little bit. And I think just really getting more of our guys, like having our coaches pushing more, having the league itself pushing more, reaching out to people, and continuing to develop quality programs where we're focusing the off season and getting spring football, you know, creating more of a competition, playing outside of the state line. I mean, there's just so many things we can continue to do and evolve and grow to that I think the future there is really, really bright. And like I said before when I talked to you guys, recruiting at this point in the year for the league is exponentially improved over where it was last year in the league overall. So I think that we're on the right track. I think that it's been good personally, I think it's been good for me to be able to sit back and see some of the areas that we're struggling in and continue to struggle in so that we can put some real processes in place as we roll out of this season and start to get ready for the next season, where you'll see a lot of tangible change, a lot of tangible benefit to the process and systems that we're going with that are ultimately not just make the teams function better, but to make the experience of being an HJCAA student athlete better. We want to continue to grow and evolve.
Awesome. Coach Doug Madosky, Executive Director of the HJCAC. Big doubleheader today, 3:30 p.m. out at Campo Verde High School. It'll be the Papago Pumas hosting Arizona Christian University, and out at Independence High School tonight at 7, Sonoran Sidewinders and the Gila River Hawks. Coach, great as always to speak with you every week. Good luck tonight. Thanks so much for the opportunity. Looking forward to continuing this run. Make sure you keep the boss sitting next to you happy, Coach. You got to get those errands done, all that honey-do list, get it tackled. So anyway, all right. Okay. Corey, take it away.
Time for Vince's final word.
Oh boy, guys. Well, there you have it. Another week. What do you think? That was something. Didn't it just fly by, or did it kind of drag on, Keithan?
It felt like I had a rocket strapped to my chair, and it just go. I can't believe we're already in November. Like, that's insane.
Isn't that something? November 1st. Wow. Yeah. What about you, Greg?
Yeah, I mean, I can't follow up with the analogy as good as that one, but I mean, it's flown by, but it's been fun. It's been exciting, and it's certainly been, the experience I think everyone in varsity has wanted ultimately with this program.
Yeah. It's been a lot of fun. And, and I got to tell you, you guys are doing a great job. We have an incredible team. In case you didn't know, we are ASU Cronkite's most popular internship. We've got most media entities out there will have maybe 3 or 4, and we have 50. And we're total about 75 between University of Nevada, Las Vegas, University of Arizona, the film school, the journalism school, UNLV's Greenspun School of Journalism, their film school, and then of course ASU, Cronkite, Sidney Poitier Film School, as well as others, and as well as the other schools that provide interns. It's been an incredible ride. Some bumps along the way, but for the most part, it's been great. Guys, I want to thank our guests today. Great job. Coaches, thank you so much for joining us. Good luck in the postseason. See how things shake out. Keith and Thomas, Greg Graves, thanks for joining me in studio. On behalf of our incredible team and our amazing producer behind the glass here, Corey Walsh, best in the business. My name is Vince Delicio. By far, go on our social media. You'll see we're doing a lot of things in the community today, tonight. I'm looking forward to getting out to Prescott Valley as well and helping out there. And we've got a couple of incredible JUCO football games tonight. On behalf of our team, thanks so much for tuning into the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060, KDUS, Arizona. Vince Delicio, out.
You're set.
Thank you for listening to the Varsity Sports Show. Our mission is to empower education and enable dreams, creating a platform to promote young people in extracurricular activities and community outreach. If you are interested in partnering up with the Varsity Sports Show, find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or call or text us at 480-779-9437. The Varsity Sports Show, Arizona's home for youth, high school, college, and you.